Hello, everybody. Welcome to your day 6 of your math remote learning. This is Miss Blanchard again. Today, we're just going to do a short instructional video on how to find the slope of a line. I'm just going to go over a few things that you guys need to remember. I'm not going to make this very long because finding the slope of a line was a content that you guys did pretty okay with. So we're just gonna go through some quick things so you guys can remember as you're doing your work for the week. So first things first, to find the slope of the rate of change, to find the slope of a graph is called, the rate of change, and the thing that you do is rise over run. I have it written both ways because, that's just how we do things. So rise over run. And then to find the slope of 2 points or two ordered pairs, you have to use the formula for slope, which is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And the 2 and the 1 are only because of the position of the x and y in the ordered pair. Okay, so don't forget that. Don't let that confuse you. So just to apply a little bit of what, just what we just seen, don't forget that the slope formula is y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. Don't forget that sometimes it's easier to label your ordered pairs so that you're not confused. So the first ordered pair is x1 and y1 because that's the first ordered pair. And the second ordered pair is x2 and y2 because that is your second ordered pair. And then within the formula, you just plug in your numbers. So my y2 is 12, my y1 is 4, and then my x2 is 5, and my x1 is 3. And you just complete the math. 12 minus 4 is 8, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So 8 over 2 equals 4 over 1, or just a slope of 4. Okay? Now your next question, just looking at that one again, you have x1, y1, x2, y2. So 7 minus 6 and 8 minus 5. 7 minus 6 is 1, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So your slope is 1/3. Okay? So just don't forget to just plug in your information or plug in your numbers into the formula. Label. Don't be too lazy to label because it makes it a little easier. Okay? All right. Now to find the slope of a graph, you only need to find the slope. I have two graphs, so we can do two different ones. We have one graph that's non-proportional, which is something that we've been talking about. Non-proportional meaning the graph of the line does not start on the ordered pair 0, 0 or the origin. And then we have another graph where the line is proportional because it starts on the origin. So to take a look at the first graph, remember when we were talking in the beginning, we said to find the slope of a graph, you can just do rise over run. You could do rise over run, or you could use the formula. I'm going to do rise over run. I always tell you to pick two pretty points on the line. So I'm going to pick, this is a pretty point, and this is a pretty point. And just to be sure, this is a pretty point. So how many did you rise? You rose 1, but what is the scale factor is 200 to 300, which is actually you rose 100, okay? And then how many did you run? I ran 1, 2. Okay, so just to make sure that works, I rose 100 and I ran 2. So my slope is rise over run. I rose 100 and I ran 2. So my slope is 100 over 2, rise over run. So your slope is actually going to be 50 over 1 or 50. Okay? Just remember to pay attention to your scaling of your graph. Okay? The second one, once again, I'm going to pick 2 pretty points. You always need 2 points. And I actually picked 3 because, just to be careful. So my first one, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the scale here, if you pay attention, is not 100. Now it's scaling by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I'm going up by 5. So how many did you go up? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I rose 25 and I ran how many? 1. So just to be sure, I'm going to do this again. 1, go up, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I ran 1. So it's 25 over 1. So our slope is actually 25 over 1. We don't even have to do no math here because 25 over 1 is actually 25. And that is your rise over run. Okay? So remember, slopes don't always have to be positive when calculating, okay? So yeah, our slopes came out positive when we did the lines and when we did the math. So I just wanted to take a look at 1 or 2 that may not be positive, just to give you guys some practice. I have a x1, y1, x2, y2. I like to label. And just to be sure, I even like to rewrite the formula so that I can make sure that I don't put my numbers in the wrong place. So my y2 is actually 2 and my y1 is 5. So it's 2 minus 5 over my x2 is 8 and my x1 is 0. So 2 minus 5 is 3 over 8. Well, negative 3 over 8. Okay, negative 3 over 8. And you can't reduce that. You can't, a slope, you do not want it in decimals, so you leave it as is. So our slope is negative 3 over 8. Okay. The next one is x1, y1, x2, y2. My y2 is 1. My y1 is negative 1. Now, please do not lose your sign. This says negative 1, so I am going to write negative 1. I only put a parenthesis so you can see, yes, you're going to have 2 negatives here, okay? Or 2 subtraction signs. My x2 is 6, and my x1 is 2. So 1 minus negative 1, when the 2 signs are next to each other, you become plus. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And 6 minus 2 is 4. Our slope is actually 1/2. Okay? And then our last and final question is actually x1, y1, x2, y2. Y2 is negative 5 minus negative 2. Once again, keep the sign with the number. My x2 is negative 1 minus negative 3. Okay, the 2 negative signs are next to each other. So negative 5 plus 2 is actually negative 3. And the 2 signs are next to each other. So negative 1 plus 3 is actually 2. So our slope here cannot be reduced. It cannot be, you don't make it into a decimal. You just leave it as is, okay? So once again, as it is every week, there is a practice as well as there's a warm up, and then there are the practice, the warm up, and the closure activity. There's also a Khan Academy video attached. So please use all the resources that are there for you to progress in your remote learning. I hope everyone is being safe. I hope everyone is washing their hands. And please, please, please get on the Zooms. I am available every day, 10:30, 1:30, and 6:30 if you need me, or just email me with any questions. I hope everyone has a good one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.